It looks like a house, it feels like a house, but it's not a house technically. It's a park model tiny home. In this video, we're breaking down what a park model tiny home really is, how it's different from an RV and the manufactured homes, and why it might be the fastest and most flexible way to own a home or add a rental or ADU to your property. We'll talk cost, zoning, customization, do a video tour, and I want to tell you why you don't have to pay property taxes on them. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Erin, and I'm a real estate agent. I'm passionate about alternative and affordable housing. I am creating content to help you learn about ADUs, tiny homes, and really maximizing these smaller spaces. The topic I want to talk to you about today, the park model tiny home. You've probably seen the tiny home tours on YouTube. You might have driven by some on the highway and think, oh my gosh, these are so cute. Let's talk about what a park model home is. A park model tiny home, it's a small home on wheels. It's 399 square feet or less, and that's important. It's legally an RV or recreational vehicle, and it's built to the ANSI A119.5 standards. It's treated as personal property and it's capped at that 399 square feet. It's designed to be movable, even though most are really just placed in the same spot long term. So why 399 square feet? This amount of square footage avoids the stricter HUD housing codes, so it offers a lot more flexibility. So even though it's an RV, it looks and feels like a real home. So think full-size kitchens, vaulted ceilings, loft, fireplaces. It's got the works. Like, this is a really cool structure. I want to show you the inside of a park model tiny home. I really want you to see how much you can fit into 399 square feet because it doesn't seem like a lot. Let's look at this tiny home. This is the interior of the Lakeside Series park model home. The video is being recorded by Joey Nelson, and he's showing us the kitchen area, which has a ton of cabinets, full-size appliances. You can see it's got the regular kitchen features that you would expect in a home. Going around to the living room, you can see how big it is. It's got full-size sofa, lots of windows. That is a fireplace, and then I even see a TV that's mounted. There's just a ton of windows in this. I actually counted, I think it's 18 windows in all. You can see going to the bathroom, full-size toilet, some built-in storage, and then really big shower and vanity area. Not the most grand bathroom, but I will say it is sufficient. This is the bedroom. So the bedroom, that's a big bed. I think it's a king-size bed, he said. It's got some closet storage, more windows, and a little area to put a TV or vanity. You can see, I mean, you can see the quality. Now this one's got a loft. I really think it's super cute. It's got two sides, kind of a half loft. It could go across, but they also have the other side that's more of a bedroom kind of space. It's got some built-in. So you can see this space. This is a good size space. Overall, this is a super cute park model tiny home that would be very comfortable to live in, and you're not sacrificing anything. I want to answer some of the questions that most people have around the park model tiny home that I think will help you understand better of what it is and what it's not. Is a park model the same as a tiny house on wheels? Not exactly. They're really similar in size, but they're built and classified differently. The park model is going to follow the RV codes because it's technically an RV. A tiny house on wheels, they may not follow any codes at all because some of these are DIY. Is this park model the same as a manufactured home? Because you're going to see the park model on a lot of manufacturer dealers' lots. No, there are some differences. So a park model, it's an RV built to those RVIA standards, so not HUD. The manufactured home, like a single wide, a double wide, it is regulated by HUD, and those are typically placed permanently on land. They're viewed as permanent living structures. Now, I just said that a park model is classified as an RV, so another big question, is a park model an RV? And again, no. An RV, you're traveling in these. They're meant to travel. The park model only carries the classification of one because it's built to those standards. So let's clear it up. A park model is classified as an RV, but you don't take it on the road. Once it's delivered to where it's going, it usually stays there unless there's some reason for it to move to another location. But it's not just like you wake up and move your home, to a new spot every day. A regular RV, they're designed for travel, so the weight matters and they're meant to be towed. The park models, they're built more like a house. So residential windows, doors, the insulation, you've got full-size appliances. Those things are going to make the structure way too heavy, and so traveling would not be an option. Now the park models, they're designed for long-term placement. So set up in a spot and they don't really move after they're delivered. The interior feels much like a home, so very, very different from an RV. It's got higher ceilings, real cabinets, full bathrooms, fireplaces, porches. It's so amazing to see how custom you can really get inside these park models. So legally they're an RV, but that's really just for zoning and tax purposes. So it's a little bit confusing. So why are people choosing a park model home? These homes, they're quick to get to a property. They're highly customizable. You can choose different floor plans, the loft, the porch, the kitchen layout, the finishes, everything. They're really meant to fit your style, whether it's for full-time living or even a rental if you choose to do that. You can customize it for whatever need you have. Now, the cost of a park model home may be of interest to you because the prices vary. The general range, we're talking $50,000 to $120,000. That's really going to depend on the size, the feature, the finishes. Some come fully furnished and have all the appliances, and some are just super simple. They're just basic. So some of those things that impact the price, if you get a loft, if you get custom cabinetry, upgraded countertops, type of appliances you get, are they full-size residential? Exterior upgrades, do you get a porch? Did you get a fireplace? So you can deck it out or you can go super simple and really save money. So we got the cost down. How are we going to pay for it? Let's talk about financing the park model tiny home. It's usually going to be through the dealer or manufacturer. They often partner with the lenders that have either RV financing or specialize in tiny home financing, and it's usually in-house. The loans, they're going to be probably 10 to 20 years, so not as long as a mortgage on a traditional home, but you still have more than 2 or 3 years to pay it off. So it does make the note relatively affordable. Now, people love park model homes when it comes to taxes and insurance. The park model homes, because they're not seen as a permanent structure, they're not going to trigger property taxes like a manufactured home would. So once you pay the sales tax when you buy it, that's it. You're not paying that again. And because they're classified as RVs, you can get insurance through the RV insurance providers, and that is typically at a lower cost than your home insurance. So I know another question you're probably wondering, are park models going to depreciate? They are considered an RV. The park model homes, they will depreciate over time, just like a car does. Most people buy the park model for a certain purpose. They might be housing a loved one, a parent, adult child. They might have a family member that needs their own space but doesn't need that cost. Others are using it as a long-term, short-term rental. So on Airbnb, I looked, $150, $250 a night. That could cover the cost of the entire structure in a few seasons. So yes, the structure may lose value on paper, but the use value could offset any of that depreciation. So why choose the prefab park model tiny home over getting one just built on your site, like in the backyard? So the park models, they're prefab. They're in a factory, delivered to your land. So that's huge if you're in an urgent need and need a structure to live in quickly. So think we're gonna have this structure on your property in weeks, not months. I wanna talk about demobilizing the park model home. So some people wanna demobilize it because they wanna make it feel more permanent. And demobilizing means they're gonna remove the wheels and that hitch, and they're actually gonna place it on a foundation. So maybe piers, a slab, probably put some skirting around the bottom because they want it to look more homey. And that really can make your house feel more stable, more secure. Demobilizing may actually meet certain zoning requirements for your area. And then sometimes demobilizing it is a requirement if you're going to be in a long-term RV park, if you want to be in a tiny home community, they could have those rules as well. Can you use a park model tiny home as an ADU, accessory dwelling unit? They really make great guest houses, but your local law has to allow it. Some cities, they don't allow RVs, including the park models, to be used as a permanent dwelling on like a residential lot. So it's not really ideal if you're in a city with really strict dwelling rules. Check out the rules for the area that you're in. That'll really give you the guidance. So maybe you're wondering, can I get around the RV piece by demobilizing it so that I can use it as an ADU? And so even if it's on the foundation, it's still legally an RV. You might be able to get a variance or even a special use permit to use it as a permanent dwelling or even an ADU, but you're gonna have to look into that in your area. So here is the deal on park model homes. It's like a really sweet spot between the RV and the house. You know, they're considered an RV, they feel like a home, they're fast, they're flexible, they're relatively affordable. So if you're considering one for a vacation home, a rental, backyard ADU, just make sure you know the rules of where you're putting it. You know, pick the right features for what you need, work with a company that you really trust. I personally think park model homes are just an exciting way to get into the tiny house world, and they're quick. They've come a long way. I'm excited to see where the park model tiny homes go in the future. If you want more content on ADUs, tiny homes, you know, drop your questions in the comments. If you have a specific question, I might be able to make a future video around your question. Also, you can visit reerin.com for more guides, checklists. I've got info, tools, resources, just a ton of stuff to help you get into the ADU and tiny house world. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.